Good morning, everyone. Today is April 14th, 2026. And today we are doing episode 5 of Derek Talks Real Estate, coming to you live from the worldwide headquarters in Locust, North Carolina. Um, Thanks for tuning in. Been having fun doing these. Hope they're informative for you. Today, we are going to talk about why it's so important to get your pre approval done before you start searching for houses. And we're going to do it kind of off of two scenarios: a psychological scenario and then a financial scenario, because both scenarios do matter when it comes to making sure you have that pre approval before you go out and start looking at houses. Um, there are a lot of people that they just want to look at houses, take a look, see what's out there before they start really getting serious about it. I don't recommend it. I have seen too many people over the years that have just quite honestly caused themselves to not buy a house because they didn't get pre-approved prior, or they end up buying a house that is too much, or they end up buying a house they quite honestly don't want to buy. They just feel like they have to settle. And that can all be solved by making sure you have your pre approval first. The pre approvals are better than prequals. We'll get into those on a later date. Maybe we'll get a mortgage person on here with us to explain the difference. But I will tell you that you need to make sure you have a pre approval, not a pre qualification. And like I said, if we need to dig into those at a later date to kind of tell what the difference is between them, then we will. So again, kind of how Derek Talks Real Estate works. Number one, we're non-scripted. So I don't have a script sitting over here that I'm going to be reading off of. We're just going to have a conversation, kind of like we would if we were sitting at the kitchen table, or if we were meeting somewhere to look at houses, or whatever it may be. We're just going to talk. What you get from me is what you get. I'm not going to put on airs. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm Mr. Hey ho, because that's just not me. So we're just going to have like I said, quick little 10 to 15-minute conversation, kind of go over my thoughts on this. And again, would love to have a chance to have a conversation with you to expand on things a little further if you have any further questions. Again, a little bit about me, Derek Blanton. I am an agent with Keller Williams South Park, the Redbud Group in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Redbud Group, a little bit about our team. We are the number 10 team in the world for Keller Williams out of 188,000 teams. And I am one of the top 10 agents on that team for 2025 numbers. I have sold a little over 300 houses in my 10 years in real estate. I just like to help everybody. People that want to buy or sell, I'm here for you. And I want to make sure that you are comfortable doing what you're doing, that you're understanding what's going on, and that number one, the main thing is that I understand what you and your goals are. That's what is important to me. Is making sure that I understand what you're looking to do and I understand what you're looking to accomplish, because I can't properly help you if I don't understand what it is that you're looking to do. So there you go. All right. So why is it so important to get a pre-approval? So let's take a look at it from a psychological standpoint first. You decide, hey, you know what? I'm ready to buy a new house, or I'm ready to buy my first house, or I'm ready to purchase. So I like these type houses. I think I can afford this. So I'm going to start looking at houses in the $500,000 range because I make pretty decent money. I got good credit. And that's what I'm going to run with. So you're just like, I'm going to start looking in the $500,000 range. I want to be in this little suburb of Charlotte, this community in Charlotte, whatever it may be. I want my kids to be in this school system. All my social activities are around this area. So you start looking for houses that are in that area in that $500,000 price point. So you go on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, whatever it may be, see a few houses you like, you contact an agent, you go take a look at houses. Now, if that agent is doing their job, they're going to make sure you have that pre-approval before you go look. But unfortunately, we have agents out there that are probably not going to push that issue because they're just looking to get a sale, because they're like, man, I need a sale. Remember this: the average real estate agent sells 3 to 6 houses a year. That's the average. Last year, I sold 26. All right. Not that I'm trying to brag, but just saying this is what I do full time. I make sure that my clients' needs are met, not that I'm getting what I need. And that's, unfortunately, we have some agents out there that have given us a bad name. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're just trying to get that next check. I'm not worried about the check. I'm worried about you guys. So you meet this agent, they don't make you get a pre-approval. You go take a look at houses. You find this house that you absolutely love in the $500,000 price point. It's got everything that you're wanting. So you're like, okay, let's put an offer in. Well, you go to put the offer in, and for any offer to be considered in this market nowadays, you're going to have a pre-approval letter. Not a pre-qual letter, but a pre-approval letter. So you get with your lender or the lender that that agent recommends. You go through the pre-approval process, and you come to find out that you're not approved for $500,000. You're only approved for $400,000. So at that point, you're like, oh, so I got to change what I'm looking for. But you've fallen in love with this $500,000 house. So when you start looking at those $400,000 houses that you're approved for, what's in your mind is you're comparing them to that $500,000 house. And $100,000 is a big difference when it comes to houses. So to get something similar to that $500,000 house in the $400,000 price point, you're probably going to have to go outside of your area you want to be in. There's an old saying that affordability equals distance. So the further out from the metropolitan area you are, the more affordable housing becomes. So it may be that you have to move to get something similar to that $500,000 house. You have to move 30, 40 miles out into a different suburb or a different area of town. Compare, for example, I need to move from Ballantyne. Instead of being in Ballantyne, I'm going to live up by North Lake or University. So you can get nice houses in those areas, but it's not the area you want to be in. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of the psychological thing you deal with there. You also deal with the psychological aspect of everything that was in that $500,000 house, you're not going to get in that $400,000 house. So all of a sudden, you're in a house and you're comparing, well, these counters don't look as good as the others. These finishes aren't as nice as the others. I don't like this layout compared to the other. And psychologically, you have now put yourself in a position to where you are not going to find a house that satisfies you, right? So that's kind of the main issue, or you're going to have to settle for a house. And when you settle for a house, you know what? It's not what I really wanted, but it's what I can afford. So let me just go ahead and buy this. You settle for it, you move into the house, and you're just not happy. And the whole time you live there, you just are not happy because you're still comparing it to that house that you saw before you were pre-approved. And who wants to live in a house that they're not happy with or they're not satisfied with, right? That's why people move. Number one, because they weren't happy or satisfied. So if you're living in a house that you're not happy with or satisfied with, then you could end up making a financial mistake where you end up selling that house too soon, and you're underwater, or you don't have enough equity to really take care of things, or you end up owing taxes, or just all kinds of different things that can come from it. But that's all from settling and dealing with the psychological impact of looking at houses before you are pre-approved. Now, let's talk about the financial side of things. So let's say you hadn't got the pre-approval and you're like, hey, I really want this $500,000 house. This is the area I want to live in. So you go, you find the house that you're looking for, and hey, guess what? You're approved. but the budget, the price point may stretch you. And without that pre-approval, knowing going in what you're comfortable with, again, you're putting yourself in a situation where you could set yourself up in a financial situation where you're not comfortable and you're stretching yourself and you're making yourself feel like I just don't have enough money. So let's say that $500,000 house you get pre-approved for it, but the payment's $3,000 a month, and your budget can only stand 2,500, right? So yeah, technically you're pre-approved, but for you to be comfortable and to live within the budget that you've set, where you're able to put money back, do the things that you want to do, have your discretionary income, have your lifestyle that you want, 2,500 is all you can spend. But instead, you again fallen in love with this house that is a $3,000 payment. So in your mind, you justify it. Well, I can pay the 3,000. That's no big deal. It's just $500 a month. But that takes away from things that you do that helps relieve your stress, right? It takes away from your ability to say go out and eat, or your ability to play a couple of rounds of golf, or your ability to do whatever it is your hobbies may be. It takes away from your opportunities to do your things that you enjoy, because all of your money is going back into that house. So, from a financial standpoint, again, it makes sense to make sure your approval is based off of what you are comfortable spending on your mortgage. So, if you only want your mortgage to be $1,800 a month, but you can get approved for 3,000 a month, is it really in your best interest to go with that $3,000 a month payment, even though you can do it? Because what you've budgeted to be comfortable with is 1,800. I had a client recently and they were set. They're like, 1,800 is our top, but we were able to get them pre-approved to where their mortgage payment could be $3,100 a month, but they refused to go over that $1,800 a month number. So they knew what their comfort zone was. So we looked for houses within that comfort zone. Had they gone and looked at houses first and been fallen in love with one, and it's like, okay, it's going to be $2,600 a month to do that mortgage, they might have gone ahead and jumped on that, and then, like I said, been miserable because they have $800 a month that they had budgeted elsewhere that's now going towards their mortgage. So again, it is important from a financial standpoint that you make sure you are comfortable with what you're paying. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to get pre-approved prior to looking at homes. When my wife and I bought the house that we have, we were pre-approved for double what we purchased, but we did not want the payment that came with that. We wanted our payment to be in a certain area. And I'm glad we did that, because just recently, and this is another thing that can happen, just recently, our payment mortgage went up $200 a month because of insurance changes and reevaluations on our property value. So those are going to happen over the life of your loan. So if you start off and you know that you're really tapped at about $2,500 a month, but you go ahead and do that $3,000 a month mortgage, what's going to happen 2 years down the road when they revalue the properties in your area and your taxes go up, or there's a insurance claim and your insurance goes up, and the next thing you know, you're hearing from your mortgage company, hey, for us to be able to meet your escrow and to make your payments, we need $3,300 a month from you, right? And you've already stretched it by going to three, and now all of a sudden you're having to add another $300 a month there. So those are the things that you have to look out for long term, and that's why it's important again to get that pre-approval done. All right, so we've been here chatting for about 14, 15 minutes already. Um, those are the two main things that I want to make sure you understand about why it's important to get that pre-approval prior to looking at houses. If you want further information on this or want to have a deeper conversation, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at Derek Talks Real Estate, and that's DEREK, Talks Real Estate at gmail.com. You can follow my Facebook page at Derek Talks Real Estate at Facebook. Subscribe to this. Or if you want to send me a text at 704 610 1154. I'll reach back out to you and we can have a deeper conversation. So, again, this is Derek Talks Real Estate, episode 5, coming to you from the worldwide headquarters in Locust, North Carolina. And the main thing to remember, Derek Talks Real Estate, everything I do, it's all about clarity, not pressure. So if you want to have a conversation, make sure you're informed, give me a call. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you and help you figure out your best option. Take care. We'll see you on Thursday.